Hey guys, this is Senti Reads, and as you can see by the video title, today we're going to be reviewing my Unhinged quarantine novel. Editing Senti here to say that I forgot literally the most important part, that this is the 100 subscriber special. Thank you all for watching. I can't believe you stuck around with my dumbass. And this was supposed to be the 69 subscriber special because I'm literally an idiot, but I got too busy and missed that deadline there. So thank you so much for 100, and here's to however many more. 14 beers at Chili's. This first came about because my boyfriend sent me a meme and he said, I wish this book existed. And I said, challenge accepted. And over quarantine, what was supposed to be a 2-week quarantine that turned into a 2-year quarantine. As you can see here, last edit was May 26th, 2020. I wrote this. This is what I spent my quarantine doing, was writing 14 beers at Chili's. As I said, this was supposed to be a 2-week quarantine. We all know that's not how that turned out. But over those 2 weeks, this is how much I wrote. 63 pages, 19,930 words. That is, I don't even have words. I mean, I guess I had 19,000 words, but how did I write this much about this? I guess we're going to find out. But before we do, I do want to make a disclaimer. This is a first draft. I wrote this in 2 weeks in May 26, 2020. Have not read it or touched it since, so there's been no editing. There's been no revising. And I know I went really hard on Amberlynn for doing that. However, I did not post this on a public platform like Wattpad claiming that this was a finished product. I'm fully aware this needs extra work. And if that is something people are interested in, I might do that editing work and put it on my own Wattpad. We'll see how this goes. And with that, because as I said, this is the first draft, there might be some rough parts. I was really mean to Amber. So we are going to do a drinking game. I will drink every time there is a spelling error, a grammar error, or a continuity error. Drink along if you want, or don't. That is totally up to you. Let's jump right into 14 beers at Chili's. Okay, it looks like I wrote a blurb here. There's nothing more soul-crushing than realizing you know nothing right before finals begin. After a futile study session in the library, you decide to cheer yourself up the only way you know how. A trip to Chili's is the only way to make things right. You're in for an epic adventure complete with ninjas, a herd of frat boys, and I guess I didn't figure that part out. As you set out to complete your grand quest of drinking 14 beers at Chili's, there will be love, loss, delicious food, and a fuckload of beer as you embark on a night you'll never forget. The endless tapping of keys and rustling of papers, occasionally punctuated by quiet sobbing, was really starting to get on your nerves. Given that it was finals week, I think there should be a comma there. That's like a time clause, given that it's finals week, comma. I don't know. Google's not flagging it. Am I a nerd? Given that it was finals week, you shouldn't have been surprised that the library was packed fuller than a clown car. Surely that made you one of the clowns, and you certainly felt like one. Oh, I'm clowning. As per usual, you waited until the last minute to crack open your textbooks. In the end, you always seemed to drag yourself over the finish line with passing grades, but you weren't sure you'd be so lucky this time. The words on the page in front of you blurred together, forming an incomprehensible mass. You needed a change of pace and fast. Any more of this, and you'd snap. You needed a change of pace and fast. I think should be you need a change of pace and fast, because this is supposed to be present tense. So I think that's something that's going to happen often, is switching back and forth between past and present tense. As you cram your books back into your bag, your stomach lets out a mighty roar. Every student in the vicinity whips around to glare at you, and you hear a few loud shushes. It was clear everyone else was just as fucked as you were when it came to their own finals. Somehow that thought wasn't comforting. Well, you'd be a psycho if you were comforted by the thought that other people were going to fail. You were all rats on the sinking Titanic, and Jack and Rose got the good raft. Well, I think they were on a door. Well, only Rose, selfish bitch. I really have no memories of writing this, and I gotta say, I like that. That's pretty good. Slinging your backpack over your shoulder, you give your peers a mock salute. Oh, that is cringe. Before retreating from the library. The dining hall closed several hours ago, but the campus diner was definitely still open. The place would likely be just as packed as the library, though. Besides, you were sure that a drink or two might help you recover some of your dwindling motivation. No, that is not a good idea. You remembered hearing about something called the Balmer Peak, where the exact right amount of alcohol increased productivity. That was enough for you to justify your clearly terrible decision. I think I did look this up. I think the Balmer Peak is real. Somebody told me about it once in college. They might have been fucking around. The cold bite of the evening air causes you to pull your hoodie tighter around yourself. It was unusually cold for spring, and for a brief moment you wondered if global warming was even real. Come to think of it, you were probably supposed to be learning about that in your environmental studies class. Wow, you were really fucked for those finals. Tyler, come hang with us, man, a voice calls to you. Oh, okay, so I do have a friend named Tyler. I doubt he's going to watch this, but I asked my boyfriend what the most fuckboy name he ever heard of was, and he said Tyler, so that the main character, your name is Tyler. It was your roommate Derek with his horde of frat bros. Despite the chilly air, they were all dressed in similar outfits of short-sleeved button-ups, pastel shorts, and boat shoes. Never ever trust somebody who wears boat shoes. You weren't really sure why, but you never particularly... Oh my god! I am psychic. I read my own mind. You weren't really sure why, but you never particularly trusted people who wore shoes without socks. Even so, it might be fun to join in on whatever hijinks they were about to get up to. You stepped forward to join them only to collide directly into a girl who'd been on her way to the library. Oh, I remember her. I don't remember her name, but you'll see. You'll see. The stack of pages in her hands went flying as she falls backwards onto her rear. They dance majestically through the air. Okay, Amberlynn. And you find yourself almost mesmerized until you see how upset she is. Tyler is really simple-minded if he is amused by papers flying through the air. Tears gather in her eyes as she scrambles to rise to her feet and grab her papers. After a moment, you recognize her as the quiet girl who sat in the back of your environmental studies class. She'd probably help you study for the final if you picked up her papers for her. Derek and his bros were still waiting for you, though, and they were almost certainly in hot pursuit of an adult beverage. For once in your life, you wondered if you should be responsible and not an actual dumpster fire of a human being. I wonder that frequently. Anyway, you're given two choices here. Go with Derek and his bros, or help the girl. I'm just going to give you the spoiler now. The girl, I think her name might be Amelia. I don't remember, but that route is really boring, and if I didn't edit, I would entirely cut out Amelia's character because she made this thing way too long, and it's not as funny as going with Derek and the bros. So obviously we are going to go with them. So we are going to go to page 4. Oh, which is this page. The girl you so rudely knocked over really looks like she's struggling. That's unfortunate for her because you have some bros to hang with. Oh my god, I feel really bad. Raising your leg comically high, you step straight over the bitch. That's misogyny. I'm sorry. I apologize. I should not have called her that. You step right over the young lady as you rush across the street to meet Derek. He greets you with a fist bump, seemingly completely oblivious to the fact that you just ruined some rando's night. The bros whoop triumphantly as you join them, patting your back as they welcome you into the group. Despite being the only one not in a frat, you felt weirdly comfortable amongst the bros. Maybe you misjudged Greek life. Or you were just so desperate not to study that you were willing to hang out with just about anyone. I'm gonna go with the latter because frat boys are miserable and they suck. I'm sorry, if you're a frat boy, I probably hate you. You were actually at the library? That's fucking lame, bro. The look of disdain on Derek's face doesn't last long before he breaks out into a grin. Just kidding, bro. I'd probably be in there too if one of the pledges wasn't taking my finals for me. I don't know if that's a thing pledges do, but I don't doubt it. How do you know that the pledges are gonna pass? You ask skeptically. Well, if they don't, we bring them down to the basement and beat them with the failure stick. Devin answers as if it were obvious. The bros nod in confirmation. I don't remember what the failure stick is supposed to be, but I also don't doubt that happens. And also, I'm pretty pleased here. It looks like I properly formatted this dialogue tag. I thought that was going to be a problem throughout, and it definitely is going to be. You try not to think too hard about the failure stick as the group sets off down the street. While you aren't exactly sure where they are going, that should be a comma there, you are positive it's better than the library. That was unless they were planning on going to the basement to beat some pledges. You regret your previous thought that you may have misjudged Greek life. Yeah, Greek life is stupid. I'm sorry. You're probably stupid. Me and the bros don't try to plan too far ahead. We're going wherever the wind blows us tonight. Derek gives a sage nod, and yet again the bros nod in confirmation. Did frat boys exist as some sort of hive mind? Yes, they definitely do. That was as much of a reasonable answer as you were going to get from Derek. As you joined the sea of frat boys, you could only pray that the wind would blow you into an establishment that served beer. Your backpack was weighing you down, but you were sure if you asked to bring it back to your dorm, you'd be left behind. Shifting the weight to your other shoulder, you decide to deal with it for now. If it got really bad, you were sure you could stash it in some bushes later. Nobody in their right mind would steal textbooks. All of a sudden, your vision was obscured as the wind blew paper directly over your face. For a split second, you were worried it belonged to the girl you bulldozed and that you might actually have to apologize to her. Oh my god, dude, this guy sucks. Pulling the paper from your face, you see it is a coupon insert that usually shows up as junk mail. You're ready to discard it until you see the amazing deals printed across it. Being on a student budget meant you couldn't exactly be picky. I remember there used to be, when I was in grad school, I used to get these Arby's coupons for like buy one, get one free sandwiches, and that's probably the only reason I survived. You do your best to keep pace with the pack as your eyes scan across the insert. On the left page is a flashy advertisement for dollar beers at Chili's. Ooh. And on the right page is a significantly less appealing ad for whatever microwave shit Applebee's intended on serving. I don't know why I specifically chose Applebee's as Chili's rival, as if Chili's does not also serve whatever microwave shit they want to serve, but you make your choice almost instantly. Do you suggest Chili's or do you get your ass kicked for suggesting Applebee's? I'm sorry if it's like cringe at me to laugh at something I wrote, but I genuinely don't remember any of this, and it is cracking me up. So needless to say, We are definitely going to get our ass kicked for suggesting Applebee's because we have got to see this shit. Beers being only $1 a pop was irresponsibly dangerous. As much as you wanted a drink, you knew you'd spend everything in your wallet, which was exactly $14. I wonder why that is the case. On those irresistibly cheap libations and make an absolute ass out of yourself. I think I made an absolute ass out of myself when I used the word libations. The deals at Applebee's weren't so atrocious that you couldn't get at least 2 drinks and an appetizer. That should be plenty to get you through the night. Hey guys, look at this. You hold the coupon insert out towards the frat boys. We can go hang out at Applebee's and split some wings or something. Derek takes the paper from your hand and surveys it carefully. That comes as a surprise to you because up until now you weren't even sure he knew how to read. I really went hard on frat boys on this, and I'm not sorry. The bros gather around him to read over his shoulder, whispering amongst themselves as they apparently come to some sort of decision. Stars erupt across your vision as Derek's fist connects with your temple. He just immediately was like, time for an ass whooping. Dude, did you not fucking see the $1 beers at Chili's? That's clearly the superior deal, Derek shouts at you. The frat boys yell in agreement as they surround you. Of course you'd seen the Chili's ad, and while you agreed it was the better deal, you weren't sure it was the best idea. The frat boys would surely demolish the establishment in a similar manner as they were about to demolish you. Good looking out for the Chili's staff. A second punch knocks you to your knees, and a kick to the ribs brings you to the ground. You feel hands lock around your ankles as you are dragged down the sidewalk. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. What the fuck? Where are we going, you cry? To the basement, bro. The only thing that can fix this now is the failure stick, Derek says solemnly. I really can't believe I foreshadowed the failure stick. I was not expecting this. I just thought you were gonna get beaten in the street and nobody was gonna help you. But you're gonna get beat by the failure stick? That's okay. Props. That's pretty good. But obviously we're not doing that. We're gonna go to Chili's, page 7. There was no way in hell you were about to eat some shit from Applebee's when you had a perfectly good microwave back in your dorm room. I'm sorry, Applebee's. I don't know that I've ever eaten at an Applebee's, so I don't know if it's actually that bad. Never mind the fact that Chili's probably also microwave. I told you this last time! I keep reading my own mind. Never mind the fact that Chili's probably also microwaved their food. You chose it for the $1 beers, and you were sure no frat boy on earth could resist the call of cheap booze. Hell, you weren't even part of their weird little club, and you couldn't resist the deal. That's called being an alcoholic. Hey guys, look at this. You hold the coupon insert out towards the frat boys. We can go hang out at Chili's and get fucking wasted. Derek and the frat boys didn't even bother to read the paper before coming to an agreement. Just as you thought, there was no way in hell the boys were about to turn down the prospect of getting absolutely shit-faced. You feel hands on your shoulders as Derek shovels you up to the front of the group. Leading the swarm of idiots in weirdly short shorts made you feel powerful for some unknown reason. I'm sorry. I keep saying this. I'm actually not sorry. If you're a frat boy, I probably hate you. So naturally, you did just that. Marching like a flock of pastel-clad penguins, you lead the squad to the nearest Chili's, which I guess is just nearby and in walking distance. Luckily for you and the boys, the campus was centrally Luckily for you and the boys, campus was centrally located to a myriad of restaurants. You turn your nose up as you pass Applebee's, and several of the bros stop to piss on the side of the building? What the fuck? I went too hard on this. Even though you had to relieve yourself as well, you weren't about to catch a public indecency charge. Yeah, you're fucking not. Are you kidding me? It wasn't more than 10 minutes before you arrive at the holy land that is Chili's. The prospect of $1 beers already had your mouth watering. Would a drink make your mouth water, though? That's kind of dumb. A quiet rumbling in your stomach reminds you that you'd skipped dinner, and you wonder if that might throw a wrench in your plans. Sure, you'd get drunk faster, but you'd also probably throw up like a bitch in front of the frat boys. As you lead your army of frat boys into the restaurant, you can only hope that it wouldn't come to that. The place was practically empty, which felt blasphemous for some odd reason. You suppose it's because the majority of students were on campus desperately studying for their finals. Chumps. No, I think that's called just using the education you're paying for. It only took the waitstaff a few moments to pull enough tables together to accommodate the whole crew, which is how many? Like a dozen? How many boys are in this group? Because I have no idea. You stash your backpack under your chair as you settle yourself down somewhere in the middle of the table. And we're going to get notes that description of what this Chili's looks like. If you've ever been to any Chili's ever, I guess it looks like that. But this is something I harped on Aberlin for, and I do the exact same thing. I did not explain what this restaurant looks like at all. While you peruse the menu, you silently curse the gods that you only have $14 in your pocket. Even though the appetizers are reasonably priced and look delicious, you aren't sure you can afford one. Your stomach is still growling, though. The pretty blonde waitress arrives at your table to begin taking orders. A couple of the bros order appetizers, but most of them go only for the beer. You rapidly run out of time to make your choice as the waitress makes her way around the table, tossing her hair and flirting for a better tip as she goes. When she reaches you, there is no more time to make your decision. Do you get an appetizer or order only beer? So there's a specific instance that I do remember writing that I desperately want to read, but I don't know how to get to it. I don't remember which route gets to the event I'm thinking of. So I'm going to say we are going to get an appetizer. The smell wafting out from the kitchen was far too delicious for you to resist ordering an appetizer. You could only hope that the bros weren't trying to freeload and steal bites off your plate. If you were going to spend precious beer money on something to eat, you'd be sure to eat every last bite yourself. Paranoid now, you snatch up your fork in case you need to defend your grub. Does that sound like anybody else we know who has food aggression? Just me? Sir, are you going to order anything? The waitress sounds annoyed. Why? Why is she annoyed? Who pissed in her Cheerios? Oh, probably the frat boys. Fuck, you were so excited by the prospect of food that you hadn't even decided what you wanted to order. I guess Tyler has the memory of a goldfish. Flashing an apologetic smile, you quickly raised the menu to peruse the appetizers. The Southwestern egg roll sounded amazing. Oh, by the way, I actually pulled up the Chili's menu and picked appetizers off their menu and used the description to write this because I take my craft very seriously, unlike Amberlynn, who did not even bother to Google when World War I was. The Southwestern egg roll sounded amazing with their crispy flour tortillas, chicken, black beans, jalapeno jack cheese. Jalapeno is technically misspelled there, so we're going to take a drink for that. Red pepper and spinach served with avocado ranch. On the other end of the spectrum was the tried and true choice of fried pickles served with house-made ranch. I don't know that I would call that on the other end of the spectrum. It's just a different appetizer. Both sounded absolutely mouth-watering, and for some strange reason, you felt as if this choice ultimately didn't matter. It's kind of like I'm making fun of Choose Your Own Adventure books. Either way, you would be full and satisfied. By now, the waitress was about to strangle your dumbass for wasting her time, so you'd better make that decision already. I don't remember which choice goes where. I like fried pickles, so we're going to get fried pickles. Let's go to page 11. That's page 10. Page 11. Classics were classic for a reason. Fried pickles were a true appetizer staple and had earned their place on the menu. Sometimes safe choices were the best choices. I feel like that's kind of passive-aggressive. With the stress of the impending finals week, you wanted to fall back on the comfort of an old friend. That's really dramatic for some pickles. I'll take the fried pickles and $1 beer. The waitress scribbles down your order and quickly moves on to the next bro. Nobody else seemed to agonize over the menu like you did, plebeians, and the rest of the orders were taken quickly. It was only a matter of minutes before the first round of beers made their way to the table. The bros were visibly excited, pounding on the table and bellowing like apes. That's offensive, as the drinks were distributed. Despite only being $1, the beer was a generous pint. What? No, they would serve that shit in red Solo cups. They would not be giving you a good amount. The pale amber liquid was beautifully frothy and chilled to perfection. A bead of condensation slides down the glass, and you lick your lips in anticipation. I really had to try hard to write this because I hate beer. For some reason, you'd expected Derek or one of the bros to make a toast, but they each pick up their glass and down it unceremoniously. You appear to be the only one who appreciates the quality of the beverage, as if it's not Pabst Blue Ribbon or some shit. Before you even have a chance to take a sip, the appetizers arrive. You nearly moan at the sight of the fried pickles. Does this remind anybody else of someone we know? The breading is perfectly golden brown, and the ranch is so beautifully pure and white, like untouched snow. Well, there's no, little flecks of green, dill or whatever is in there. Perfectly white ranch is not ranch. Mouth-watering, you ignore the steam rising from the hot food to shovel it into your mouth. Again, does this sound like anybody we know? The pop of acidity from the pickles brings tears to your eyes. The flavors sing in a harmony more wonderful than any choir in the entire universe. I don't even know if I've ever been to a Chili's either. I just wanted to make this, weirdly reverential to Chili's because I'm an idiot. Hey, bro, let me get some of that. Wild-eyed, you straighten as you realize you'd been hunched over your food like an animal. Derek is sitting across from you, and he motions down to your pickles. You resist the urge to growl at him for ruining the religious experience you'd been having. I'm going to say it yet again. Does this remind you of anybody you know? As much as you didn't want to share, you were also afraid of coming off as rude in front of the bros. Your eyes dart between Derek and your plate as you struggle to make a choice. Do you share the pickles or tell Derek to fuck off? Well, in true Amberlynn spirit, we are going to tell him to fuck off. It takes every ounce of your strength to lean back and push the plate towards Derek. His face lights up as he reaches out to take a bite of your precious appetizer. You'd already spent nearly half of your beer budget to get it, and now you weren't even going to receive its full bounty. Your heart broke into pieces as you watched Derek reach out with his fork. Was it too late to snatch the plate back? This isn't half bad, thanks, bro. The fucker didn't even seem to enjoy it half as much as you did, even though he was already going in for a second bite. Your grip tightens around your fork as you resist the urge to stab him. Taking a deep breath, you try to remind yourself of all the nice things Derek had done for you over the past year as your roommate. Why doesn't Derek live in the frat house? I thought most boys live at the frat house. Even though you weren't in his frat, Derek always invited you to their house parties. That was not a favor. There was that one time he brought one of the pledges back to the dorm and made him clean the whole room. Oh, and how could you forget that he'd so politely stick a sock on the door handle when he was occupied with a co-ed? I don't know what co-ed means. I just always see people say it in movies. I don't know if that means what I meant it to mean. You were eternally grateful that you'd never had to walk in on all that. It kind of sounds like he's not a good roommate. The waitress returns with another round of beers, which soothes your nerves. Her arrival distracts Derek, and you pull your plate back over to keep him from eating any more. Your poor meal had been practically ravaged by his fork. You lower your head to whisper a quiet apology to it. This is so dramatic for what? What is this so dramatic for? Luckily, nobody seems to notice your odd behavior. Yeah, you're acting like a fucking freak. I'm getting the next couple of rounds for him, Derek says to the waitress. A wide grin tugs at his lips as he points across the table at you. He deserves it for putting up with my dumbass all semester long. Yeah, damn straight. I guess this is going to recuperate some of the money you spent on the appetizer so you could hit 14 beers. Your heart swells with brotherly love at the generous display. That would at least partially... this is what I just said. I'm reading my own mind. That would at least partially make up for the hole you'd burned in your beer budget for buying the appetizer. You wipe a stray tear from your eye with one hand as you reach out to fist bump Derek with the other. This is so dramatic for what? The next few rounds of beer are a blur of frothy deliciousness and good conversations with the bros. The bro sitting next to you, Kyle, was surprisingly articulate. Also, how many rounds? Because if we're trying to get to 14 beers, I need to know the exact amount. He was a botany major. Why? Why would I make that happen? Why would he be a botany major? Every frat bro was like computer science or political science. That's it. No, business. Those are the only three frat bros. He was a botany major and knew a lot more about... Oh, this is why. I just need to finish reading my sentences before I actually make comments. He was a botany major and knew a lot more about growing weed than the average stoner. You were getting increasingly lost as he talked about hydroponics, soil pH, and various nutrient balances. I've got a fucking doobie. Do people who smoke call them doobies? They don't. Surely they don't. I've got a fucking doobie with me if you want to go smoke it up in the bathroom, Kyle's voice lowers as he whispers conspiratorially to you. By now you were 4 beers... Okay, I did give an amount. We were 4 beers in of our 14. By now you were 4 beers in and starting to feel it. Although you weren't a big smoker, you didn't want to look like a puss in front of your new bro Kyle. That's a terrible reason to do any kind of drug because you think somebody's going to think you're lame. How about just don't do drugs unless that's in your heart what you want to do, I guess? And the alcohol was giving you a much-needed boost of liquid confidence. At the same time, you were worried what would happen if you were caught by an employee. Probably nothing. The most trouble you'd ever been in was that one time in 10th grade when you got detention for telling your weird gym teacher that she smelled like hot dog water. Kyle was still leaning in awkwardly close, and you were sure the other bros would catch on if you didn't make up your mind soon. He waggles his eyebrows suggestively. What else are they going to do in that bathroom? At you as he raises his hand to pantomime smoking a blunt, because that's exactly how a smoker would act. So this is going to lead us to the exact scene that I want it to. So of course we are going to smoke it up with Kyle. We're going to go to page 15. If you were going to fuck around instead of studying for finals, you decide that you better make the most of it. If that meant smoking a blunt in the Chili's bathroom, then by God, you were going to do it. Has anybody here smoked a blunt in the Chili's bathroom? How was that? I would like to know. You give a small nod as to not tip off the others, and Kyle slowly stands from his seat to saunter. What are they going to do in that bathroom? He saunters to the bathroom. After a minute or two, you follow suit. The bathroom is empty except for you and Kyle, and you can see his boat shoes under the handicap stall door. That's rude. They don't use the handicap stall unless you need it. Hearing you enter, he cracks open the door to peek out. That's not conspicuous at all. The two of you giggle like schoolboys as your eyes meet. What are they gonna do in that bathroom? He was acting like he was already high, and to be fair, he probably was. Get in here, bro. You didn't need to be told twice. Kyle quickly locks the door after you enter the small stall. What are they gonna do in that bathroom? Withdrawing a red lighter and a tightly rolled joint, he sparks it up and takes a long puff. He angles his head up to blow smoke towards the vent on the ceiling. You breathe a sigh of relief when the fire alarm doesn't immediately go off. Now it's your turn. After Kyle hands you the blunt, you take a mighty rip. Okay, how many words can I call this? I called it a blunt, a doobie, a joint. Don't mix it up, just pick one. The smoke is like a sucker punch straight to your lungs, and despite your best effort, you break out into a coughing fit. If it wasn't clear you were an amateur before, it sure as hell is now. Kyle doesn't seem to judge you, though, as he takes the blunt back for his turn. After a few rounds of puff, puff, pass, a colorful swirl rolls across your vision like a wave cresting on the beach. You turn your head to watch as it dissolves into a kaleidoscope of rainbow butterflies. This is some fucking good weed. No, it's not, because that's not how drugs work. If you ever think that somebody hallucinates on weed, that is not a thing. People are lying to you. That's not real. Oh shit, Kyle exclaims. You look towards him only to see that he's been replaced by Yogi Bear. This was the wrong fucking blunt. I was supposed to save this for after finals week. What's going on? It's laced with PCP, bro. Fuck. I don't know if you can smoke PCP. I don't know anything about PCP at all. I don't know if you could put it in weed. I don't know if it works like that. I just thought it would be funny. In your altered state, you couldn't quite remember what PCP was exactly, and you were sure it wasn't good. Exactly. My sentiment exactly. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure it's not good. It definitely wasn't what you signed up for. Smoking PCP in the Chili's bathroom was on a whole other level from smoking weed in the Chili's bathroom. Yeah, one makes for a fun meme and the other means you're a drug addict. You begin to panic as the gravity of the situation settles down on you. You'd never been high like this before, and you sure as hell didn't know how to handle it. I mean, yeah, that would probably be pretty scary if you took drugs that you did not intend on taking. That does not seem like a good time to me. Was the bathroom on fire? It definitely looks smoky. You tug at your shirt collar as a bead of sweat rolls down your neck. It was way too fucking hot in here, and you knew you had to get out fast. Kyle reaches his big furry bear paws towards you in an attempt to calm you down. Naturally a bear, even Yogi, coming at you wasn't going to make you relax. Get the fuck away from me! You shove Kyle away from you and scramble to get out of the stall. The lock sticks, and in a moment of desperation, you drop to your knees to crawl out. Yuck! Oh, I have like a borderline phobia of public bathrooms, and I would probably rather punch myself in the face than crawl on a public bathroom floor. No thank you. Luckily, the antiseptic smell wafting from the tiles indicate that they were recently mopped. Those Chili's employees were definitely on top of their shit, which nobody has ever said about a Chili's employee ever. I guarantee the bathroom there is filthy and disgusting. As your fingers wrap around the bathroom door handle, why did I not put any commas in this? You pause to watch a chupacabra climb out of the trash can. Bits of paper towel stick to its matted brown fur. Fuck that. You yank the door open and step out into the dining room. I've never smoked PCP or however you ingest PCP, so I don't know if this is what it would be like if you would see this insane stuff. I just thought it would be funny. The once nearly empty restaurant is now seemingly packed with people. Next to the endlessly long table of bros, sits a group of ninjas. They are clad in the stereotypical black garb, their faces covered as they flip through their menus. It was as if the entire semester of playing Mortal Kombat instead of studying hit you all at once. You know what you have to do, but you aren't sure you want to disturb the other patrons. I did not play Mortal Kombat. I think it was Skyrim. I played a lot of Skyrim, played a lot of Fallout instead of studying or going to class. Except I guess I would walk out of the bathroom and see a bunch of dragons or ghouls. So obviously we're going to fight the ninjas. And if you don't remember, this is a reference to the cover, 14 Beers at Chili's, where that generic-ass looking white guy fights a ninja. I knew somehow, some way, I had to put ninjas in this story. And this right here is the way I decided ninjas were going in. I made somebody smoke PCP in the bathrooms that they could hallucinate some ninjas to fight. That was my solution. Just because the ninjas were acting chill now didn't mean that they weren't a threat. The best way to deal with a problem was before it started. Not really. Don't pick a fight if you don't gotta fight. You were sure you'd go down in history as the man who saved innocent Chili's diners from a full-blown ninja attack, which is something ninjas apparently do, is attack. Nobody would be getting a shuriken to the back or a karate chop to the face on your watch. Okay, Tyler, do your best. You're a man on a mission. As you make your way to the table of ninjas, the restaurant melts away as you are transported to an ancient valley. Mountains surround you, mist curling around their peaks. Oh, is this racist? I'm so sorry. In the distance, you see a geisha with a pink paper parasol lounging under an ornate pagoda. This is kind of offensive, like genuinely, that I stereotyped it this much. The scene would have been tranquil if you didn't know the mayhem that was about to occur. The ninjas have noticed you now, and they stand in unison to face you. Acutely aware of how outnumbered you are, you take a deep breath to calm yourself. You lower yourself into a crouch as you raise your hands into a sick karate pose. This was about to be the fight of your life. All at once, the ninjas rush you, but you're ready for them. You move with purposeful discipline that you didn't know you were capable of as your hand shoots out to smack down the first ninja. The side of your hand connects expertly with his neck, causing him to vanish in a puff of black smoke. I guess I was trying to avoid some violence here and kind of censored it. Oh, come on. That one song from Kung Fu Panda, I have never watched Kung Fu Panda, begins to boom down from the mountaintops. Everybody was indeed kung fu fighting, and the music seemed to strengthen you. I'm like, this is something else. You are fully in the groove, comma, as you knock down ninja after ninja. You're fucking unstoppable. None of them have been able to land a single hit on you. I wish I had the confidence of a neckbeard who had some beers. That's all I gotta say. And well, he also smoked PCP in the bathroom. I wish I had that confidence. That is until the samurai show up. And if you've ever played Ghost of Tsushima, you know samurai are not ones to be trifled with. The light glinting off the blade of their katanas blinds you, causing you to stumble backwards in dazed confusion. The tables are turning fast. They begin to shout at you, but you don't understand what they're saying. A bolt of lightning rips open the sky and crashes into you. You fall backwards as everything goes dark. So, okay, remember that this is all hallucination. So something was actually happening in real life. We'll see who those samurai actually were. You awake on a cold stone surface. The pounding in your head makes it nearly impossible for you to come to your senses. After a few long moments, comma, you manage to open your eyes and drag yourself into a sitting position. To your surprise, comma, you see that you were behind bars in some sort of cell. Was this the ninja's lair? Hesitant and weak, you rise to your feet and stumble forward. You grab the bars to stabilize yourself as you peek out to assess your situation. There weren't any ninjas around as far as you can see. That's probably a good sign, right? There's faint murmuring coming from outside your line of sight. You close your eyes and turn your head as you strain to hear it. Chaos ensued at a neighborhood Chili's last night as a crazed man attacked a children's karate club. Witnesses say the man burst out of the bathroom and headed straight for the children. He managed to severely injure nearly the entire club before he was subdued by the police, which were the samurai, and taken into custody. So that lightning bolt was a stun gun, and I thought I was really clever. It's not clever, it's pretty stupid, but I laughed. Hopefully you did. Police say the suspect, a local college student named Tyler Smith, the most generic name I could come up with, does not have a previous history of violence. Oh fuck, you slide down the cold bars as you sink to the floor. This can't be happening. If only you hadn't tried to look cool in front of that stoner burnout Kyle. You weren't sure what would happen to you now, but at least you probably wouldn't have to take your finals. And you're probably going to be in jail for like 10 years for fighting children. No, if you fought multiple children, he fought the entire club of children. That's like he's going to be in jail a long time. I'm going to cut that here. If you guys liked this, I can continue reviewing this or edit it and post it on my Wattpad. I think it's pretty clear that I'm kind of a twisted individual, if you hadn't already learned that about me. If I think that a man smoking PCP in a fast food bathroom and fighting a group of kids is funny, what does that have to say about me? Hopefully it's better than Amber Lynn's. That's all I gotta say. Peace out. Stay spooky. Stay tuned to watch another Goosebumps video next week. Bye, guys.